Well, we finally got a rain this weekend, and we got a lot of rain. Like 3 to 4 inches. This is in addition to 1.3 that we had earlier. So that's 2.5. So 3.8 here total. I need to keep track of that so I can tell Dad. So 2.5. We needed it. It came slow, and for the most part, and like I just drove by the creek, kind of by my parents' house, and it didn't fill up hardly at all. So I think it just all soaked in. So, which is good. But what's it gonna do? Still don't know. Today's September 6th, so it's been over 2 months since we had our last rain. You know, there was a little bit of a rain around the 4th of July, but I don't think we got any of that. We got that rain right after planting, kind of mid-June. Maybe a shower. Maybe Dad got a shower a little bit later than that, but it's been like this cotton is done when it's done off of just soil moisture that we had from before. I mean, it's still really, really muddy. People haven't gone down these roads yet. It's wet and it's soaked. It's a soaking rain, which is great, but for driving you need hard rain to pack the ground. So 2.5 there also. So I don't remember what that one was, but again, this was 3 inches, 2.5. I think this one had the least amount. So I think this one's just right around 3 inches. And then I got one place that I know had 4.5. Oh glory! I checked that a while back. But I was gonna try to get to Bob's field. I can't get down very good. It may have had 6 inches or more, but field view is that's what it said. But that's been off a little bit lately. So, oh well, I was gonna try to show you the cotton, but it's really muddy. I don't know what it's gonna do. This cotton probably looks the best here. It kept blooming and it stayed blooming. Some of the others shut down completely. Since the rain, there's not been near as many blooms, and that's kind of expected. It probably threw a lot of those off. Now we're just up against the clock on time. Is there enough time to develop these blooms into viable bowls? I was watching the guy. He's got drip cotton on drip, 80-inch cotton on 80-inch drip. So they're putting the drip tape between the rows, and it's just a different world. They're spraying tons of picks to keep that from getting bushy, because it will. But the bowls and the squares that are on that is insane, and that's just what I guess irrigated cotton looks like. I don't know what that looks like. But he was also about to spray a chemical to pitch off any small blooms and squares off the plant, so they didn't waste any energy on those. I was laughing. I was like, that's the exact opposite of what I want. Is I would, at this point, like all of those blooms and squares to make into bowls, because that may be the majority of our cotton, not knowing how many big first position bowls are on the plant. You know, some, but did they develop? Are they small and hard already? I don't know. I'd like to get out there and look myself, but it's still pretty muddy. All right, I found a spot off the ditch that I could walk and not get too muddy, possibly. This is not a great representation, but you see that stuff on the ground? That's what it's doing, throwing stuff off. You know, that's what we got. That's what we need those to make. But we got some of these in here. They look good. I mean, it's in there, but not what we'd hope. This top crop, and that's what we got to hope, that this top crop can really come on strong here at the end. Well, I made it, or making it. This was the part I think this was the part I was most concerned about, but maybe that's actually coming up here. So it's been uneventful so far. I'm surprised the road stood up as well as it has. So this last little stretch will be I think it's gonna be okay. I'll see you in a minute. I made it. Not bad at all. It's wet. This is had cows on it since we cut it, and they mowed it down pretty good. There's some pasture back there with a tank, and so they got the cows off before the rain, which is good because that would have packed the mess out of it. So I'll need to spray this, and then I'm gonna hopefully get it strip tilled soon, because we're gonna put cotton out here. And I bet, you know, that's 3.8. I don't know how much that could have evaporated over time, but most of that probably came, if the gauge was right. We had like 3 inches in one rain event early before we really got rain anywhere else. So I'm gonna say at least 4. I don't know. It's been a while since I've been down here, so let's say 4 inches. Yes. But good to see. This is looks cleanish. You know, there's stuff's coming up because it's rained. Now the weeds and the volunteer wheat's all coming up, but good to get down here. I hadn't been here a while. 3.1 maybe was the lowest, and then the highest 4.5 in one farm is what it looks like. So I went to I'm just now getting back to the barn, and it's lunchtime because I had to run a couple errands. I went the farmer I was going to buy those stripper parts for, I went by his house, and he was gone. He'd run to town. And then on the way back, when I was leaving there, I just remembered a guy that I'd done some fence posts. I replaced some. I have replaced cedar fence float. Let's try that again. I have replaced fence posts for people with cedar 6x6s. I did some of that in Lubbock when we lived there, and I did a guy's house here in Sagerton, and he had one that was kind of cracking, and he wanted it replaced. Well, we just ended up flipping it. It didn't look too bad. I think it's going to be okay. So I was doing that, and then I saw the farmer drive back home. So I stopped by, and I got the stuff. So got the auger. These are the couplers. I'll show you this compared to an old one in a second, the ones I took off, and then the plates. The things I don't have, the gauge wheel. I decided to buy his gauge wheel instead of modifying the one that Dad has for 4x4. It was going to be not far off the price, and his was just set up right. So I just went ahead and did that. And then the hydraulic hoses, which, well, they're not on here, but they run from the motor that'll be on the end, and they'll run and connect up to, I think those are the ones that come up into here. Yeah. So I got those. The ones that I have are a little longer because obviously that sticks out longer on the extension side, and so those are a little shorter, so it'll be good. And I'll have that way I don't have to mess with any of my stuff that's set up for 8-row 40s in case I need to do that. Or here's an idea: 8-row 40s, which is what this header was before. I'm converting it to 7-row 32s off center, so that's kind of weird. But 8-row 32, that's 8-row 40s. 8 times 40 is 320 inches. You with me? 32 inches divided into 320 is 10. So I could get 10 rows, hypothetically, on an 8-row 40 header setup, which is what I have. So here's the center line. So from the center, I'll have 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 5. And so then I have 1, 2, 3, 4. That gives me 4, and 4 is 8, plus that middle is 9. Would allow me to strip 6 rows of cotton if I, so just imagine there was a pair here, a skip, and a single. That would match the other side, where there would be a pair of cotton here. That would be a skip row and a single. The problem with that, though, is that I don't plant anything like that, and so if there was ever any issues between passes, kind of like I had with strip till and planting, then I could have some issues where the rows wouldn't match up exactly. Shouldn't happen with GPS, but we saw that this year. So that's an option. I could have 9. That would be 9-row units on there, right? 7, I'd add 2 more on the end. That would give me 9-row. But what I could do, because remember, 320 divided by 32 is 10. I could get 10 rows on here, and there is a farmer around that's done that. You have to do a little bit of a kind of a shield on the outside, is what Dad has said. And so instead of having a row in the middle, you would then do the middle would be a blank, not a blank, but in between rows. And so you'd have 5 on this side and 5 on that side. So it can be done. That would then require, any of those options would require a bull buggy. So that's anyways, but that's an option. Could have that. And, but I have all the augers and things to be able to do that at some point. Let me show you the difference here. And the difference is, guess what? 40 minus 32, 8 inches. But so this is what I took off, and that is what I have now. So these right here were the missing piece that allow me to finish the row units. So I'm excited about that. And let me see if I have one. So it'll obviously go like that. The bolt will go through, and then that'll connect to the hex that sticks out. So this piece will stick out on every row unit, and so that will overlap enough with this piece and allow me to connect them together. But we do this now so that there's no gap, and then I slide them over once I get that row unit where it needs to go. So that is an easy project to do here before I go home. Just make sure the holes are lined up. Although I think I'm supposed to put some never sees on those. But once I've got once I can do it after just making sure that I had some enough play. So I can slide it all the way to the other side, and that'll allow me to put some never sees on later. So I'm gonna do all these and then on to the next thing. So the other thing were these sheets. So that's the piece it's replacing. Obviously a lot smaller, and so I wasn't going to buy those from him. We made a deal to get those. He's not going to ever use them, and I was going to make my own because one of those sheets was $59 from Deere. That is crazy. So I was going to build my own, which would have taken time and not free, and then paint, all that. So I'm glad we can make a deal on those. And then did I tell you the wheel? Yeah, the wheel and the hoses, those are at the John Deere house still with his stripper. They're getting worked on. But I got the auger, and I got to just straighten out some of these flights that are a little bit boogered. Came with one shaft here, so I'll have an extra. Mine still has both of theirs, and this is an extra one that's in pretty good shape. And so, yeah, glad to get this stuff so I can try to get this done, because it has rained. So that will require weeds, or that will generate weeds, which is a good thing. Rain, we need rain, but now there's weeds, so I'm gonna have to spray, and I want to strip till soon. I've not normally done that in the fall, but I've got the time and the moisture. I'm gonna want to go ahead and get that done. So I want to try to get a lot of this wrapped up here while it's wet, if I can. I can lift this. Oh yeah. Kept walking thinking that this header wasn't very level. I wasn't paying attention. Then I looked around here, I was like, it sure enough is real off, and my tire's flat. So, hope that's not, I let some air out so that we could What do we leave the air out for? Try to make it lower, yeah, to get the stripper out of the barn. And actually probably didn't even need to do that, but I'm wondering. Actually, I don't know why that would have done that. So I'm gonna air it up. This will become a lot more expensive project if I have to get new tires, but do what you got to do, I guess. Just don't want this to come off the bead. All right, I'll be here for a while. Hey, much better. I don't know if you can tell, but it's more level. I'm gonna walk around here and see if the ground is too muddy to get the skid steer out. It's got tracks. It won't get stuck, but I just don't want to make a mess. So that's a little wet there, but I wondered if I can go right through here. I think so. Need some old tires? Come and get them. CrossFit workout? Yard art, old school playground. Yeah, I think I can get out here okay. I won't go that way. I'll just sneak right through here. All right, although I want to work on some things, it's lunchtime, and I'll be more productive on a full stomach. So I'm gonna go home. Well, got the gauge wheel. So all I lack now from that other farmer is the hoses. Okay, now for the skid steer. That breeze feels good. I don't need over there. All right, guess I'll just check the oil just in case. Coolant is good. I don't expect there to be any. Oil is good. Just check for any remnants of mices. All right. Let's go drive in the mud, although I think it probably dried a little bit since earlier. Got the clamps started. You put these as wide as you can. So this one is the outside dimple. You see these dimples here. So that's as far as that one could go. That one's as far out as I could go on that one because I don't know if I can tell or not, but under there, see it? There's a shield in the way. So that's as good as I can go there. Thought I could go one more wider, but I don't think that I can. So, all right, I got to tighten the bottom ones a little bit, tighten these all the way, and then tighten the bottoms all the way. And I can't get Get the idea. I can't get the socket on there because it's hitting stuff, so I'm just gonna keep doing this for a little bit. Now tighten this one off. Not on 3. This one I'm not gonna be able to film very good. I gotta get in there. Probably gotta crawl underneath. All right, let's see. Let's let her down. Okay, you got that last one off, so I get that coupler, the big one off, I got the little one on, and now I got to figure out where that one needs to go. This one is almost exactly like within a 1/4 inch of where it needs to be, so I'm going to measure out, let's see, from over that side and give me this 32 and then 64 and then 96 over there. That's what I'll use to make sure I got the rows in the right spot. Then I'll get that one set, and then I'll have to move this one. I'll just have to hopefully just loosen these a little bit and then tap this over. Then I'll have these 2 set. Then I can do this one where I'm standing, and I'll be done for now because I'm gonna wait to do that one because we gotta get that auger in and do some stuff there in the middle. So I'll leave that one off for now, but getting close. There's my 32. See, there's 64. I'm just slightly over it. Now, that losing my $96. I can't mark this without holding the camera, so 96. That one I can't do, so I'll just tap it over just to air in a minute. Got this one set where it needs to go now. See my line? All right, now this one I'm gonna try just to loosen these bolts because I don't have far to go at all. I just need a little bit of wiggle room. So let's try. I'm gonna need that. Gosh. That was a little bit of a bind on that one. Okay, maybe that's enough. Just tap it in. Where's my hammer? moving slowly. I'll check that with the tape. That ought to work. I just gotta get my clamps in the right spots. That looks pretty good. That one looks pretty good. All right, tighten it up. On to the next one. Well, I got all but one put on, and I'm trying to decide if I'm going to do that now or wait till we get the stripper put together and unhook the header. Because I've got to get in here we may have to adjust this this hanger right here. I got to work on the auger a little bit, and so anyways, I could do it. We just have to unhook the header to be able to access the stuff inside. So I don't know what I'm going to do there yet. Also, it's going to be a little bit more challenging to get that one, row unit attached, just because of where it's at in the middle of the chute. So I'll get it done, but not today. Today's Friday. It's Friday. Friday night in Texas. You know what that means. Friday night football. So we're going to watch the Bobcats play. If you know, you know. So I got to get home, get a shower so we can get to that. I feel good about today. Glad to get some of those parts and get some things knocked out. I'm going to put the skid steer up, close the barn, and I'm going to take the mule out real quick and go look at the farms down here. So I'll show you that in a second. Too muddy to walk out there and look, and I'm just amazed that the roads are as good as they are after 4 inches of rain that we got, and especially that it came slow. So that is a good thing, but I'm a little afraid that the squares and those blooms at the top are gonna fall off soon. I told you it could do that. Dad and I earlier, he came by while I was working on the stripper, and we looked at some of that cotton by the house. Now it's not a good representation of all the fields, but some of the squares up on the top, we just barely touched them and they fell off. So that may happen here in the next day or two, but hopefully it can put on some new ones and maybe keep some of those. Maybe it's not 100%. So anyways, I'll go down here and look a little more, and then if there's anything worth showing, I'll show you. Well, nothing much to show you. It's muddy. Some volunteer wheat's coming up where this wheat was hailed out, expected. And so I have to do some spraying, keep working on the stripper, and just be ready to go when I can get in the fields. So thanks for watching. If you're gonna farm it.